Good evening, our beloved viewers. You are watching on Live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the top stories. Head of State preside over the 7th session of the Council of Ministers. The Head of State received the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Areas. And on the international scene, Israel has blocked access to all humanitarian aid. Those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, held the 7th meeting of the Council of Ministers took place on Tuesday. Following the texts were reviewed and approved. For more detail, with our colleague.
Sous la présidence de Son Excellence M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, président de la République, chef du gouvernement, a eu lieu ce mardi 22 avril 2025, la 7e séance du Conseil des ministres. Ont été examinés et approuvés les textes suivants.
Ministry of Infrastructure and Equipment. First question, draft decree on the government's reform of port labor supplier. The draft decree aims to reform the governance of port labor supplier PLS, a company responsible for providing a stevedoring labor in ports and free trade zones. The proposed change will transition PLS into an autonomous entity, granting it administrative and financial independence, while maintaining its status as simplified joint stock company. Previously under the oversight of TMP, PLS will now be directly supervised by the Ports and Free Zones Authority. Additionally, the draft clarifies PLS mandate, designated as the exclusive provider of dock workers for all cargo handling operations across all ports and associated infrastructure. This reform seeks to enhance institutional governance, thereby strengthening the autonomy and efficiency of dock worker management. Ministry of Trade and Tourism. Second question, draft order establishing the Technical Committee for Standardization in the electrical, electronic, electrotechnical, and renewable energy sector. The draft order is issued pursuant to Order Number 2024/139/PR/MCT, which outlines the procedures of creating and operating technical committees responsible for standardizing the electricity, electronics, and renewable energy sector, referred to as ADNCTO2. This committee will be tasked with developing and proposing technical standards applicable to these sectors. It will also ensure the harmonization of national standards with regional and international norms, while keeping them updated in line with technological advancements. The committee will draft and adopt internal regulations defining its operational procedures. It will convene quarterly or as often as necessary. Members will serve on a pro bono basis. The committee includes representatives from the following ministries and institutions: Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Higher Education, CERT, EDD, Public Institution, ODEC, Public Institution, Customs Authority, as well as professional organizations and consumer associations. Ministry of the Budget. Third question, draft order allocating land plots in City Nasib and other regions to the IOG Housing Foundation. The draft order allocates 28 viable land plots, including developed and underdeveloped land, as well as urban facilities, to the IOG Housing Foundation. These plots, covering a total area of 524,895 meters per square, are located in Balbala, City Nasib, and the Nagad Housing Extension Zone. Additionally, plots in interior regions and their localities totaling 92,000 meters are also allocated to the Foundation for Social Housing Construction. Communications. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, acting as the government spokesperson, reported on Djibouti's participation in the 24th Extraordinary Session of the African Union Executive Council, held on 15 of April 2025 in Addis Ababa. The Ministry of Health presented an update on the implementation of a national polio vaccination campaign, part of the National Polio Outbreak Response Plan. The campaign primarily targets children under 5, the most vulnerable group, and aims to halt virus transmission nationwide, including in the capital and interior regions. It includes enhanced awareness efforts, combining media campaigns and community outreach to inform families and encourage vaccination participation. The Ministry of Youth and Culture reported on a UNESCO support mission, April 10 to 17, 2025, regarding the proposed inclusion of the Abroma rock engravings on the UNESCO World Heritage List. As a strategic partner, UNESCO will continue supporting Djibouti until the official submission in 2026, targeting inscription in 2027. Last but not least, the Minister also provided an update on developing Djibouti's book publishing sector, highlighted by the ongoing 3rd Djibouti Book Fair at the National Library and Archives.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, received this morning the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Areas, Mr. Ramkale, accompanied by a high-level delegation to the Republic of Palace. The audience provide an opportunity for the President of the Republic and the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Areas to discuss the crucial challenges of African economic integration and Djibouti's central roles as a strategic hub for intra-African trade. The discussion will focus on the holding of a high-level regional conference on the opportunities of the African Continental Free Trade Areas, which aim to address ways and means to highlight the economic challenges and implement the African Free Trade Areas Agreement, which is based on the interconnection of the continent's economic. In his speech following the talks with the President of the Republic, the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Areas welcomed the continued commitment. Details, let us listen to his speech.
We came to brief His Excellency the President on our visit here in Djibouti. We expressed our appreciation to him and the government that he leads for Djibouti's leadership in the African Union, even before the chairperson, and more importantly, on the exemplary manner in which Djibouti has established infrastructure that supports trade, transport, logistics, special economic zones. All of these are very important achievements which we believe other African countries can benefit from. So we came here to express that appreciation to His Excellency the President. We briefed the President also on the state of play in the implementation of ZLECAf, the progress that we are, just for the benefit of Djibouti, but for the benefit of the entire region and the continent. So we believe that this country has a very significant role to play in facilitating trade in the region and also in supporting other countries that may not have the same level of infrastructure to be able to have access to global markets. This is a really a very, very important aspect of our visit here, the observation that Djibouti does have the capacity indeed to be a leading player in the implementation of ZLECAf in the region in support also of other countries because of the infrastructure that has been established here.
The Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mr. Mohamed Warsam Diriye, took part in this meeting between the President of the Republic and the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Areas. In a response to the media following the event, the Minister emphasized our country's support capabilities to play a leadership role in the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Areas. As part of a strategic forum dedicated to regional development, two high-level panels were held to discuss the challenges and opportunities related to the infrastructure, trade corridors, and investment promotion in Africa, with a particular focus on the Horn of Africa. The first panel, entitled Infrastructure and Trade Corridors Across Africa, highlighting the key projects such as the Trans-African Land Bridge, a key driver of regional integration. The second panel, entitled Investment Opportunities and Financial Institutions, highlighting Djibouti's economic strengthening the financing mechanism available to support large-scale projects. This session was introduced by a video presentation of a touch road highlighting the potential of country's special economic zone and the prospect for public-private partnership. This discussion confirmed Djibouti's central role as a logistic hub and investment platform while highlighting the need for strengthening regional cooperation to build a more integrated resilience and processes in Africa. The students of Humbuli Middle School conducted an educational visit to the national representation on Tuesday, April 22, composed of approximately 50 students from grade 6 and 9. A delegation was led by Ahmed Jama, principal of middle school, accompanied by also the supervisor from the teaching staff and parents. This visit began with the performance of national anthem, which highlighted the symbolic significance of its lyric, their poetic dimension, and their patriotic resonance. On this occasion, an explanation of the lyric and meaning of the national anthem was presented to the students by members of both in order to help them understand the fundamental values of its embodies. The President of the National Assembly, Mr. Dileita Mohammed Dileita, welcomed the students and expressed his satisfaction at seeing young people interested in the Republican institution. The President explained to the students the importance of the National Assembly in the functioning of the democratic system and its fundamental role as a legislative institution, a place of deliberation, and a body representing the people. In his intervention, the principal of the school highlighted the importance of these activities, which is part of the National Assembly's civic outreach program, which provide for the regular reception of students and educational establishment, offering them an educational immersion at the heart of functioning of the legislative branch. Heading now to Washington, where a Djiboutian delegation is taking part in several meetings with the Bretton Woods Institution yesterday, a meeting between the Djiboutian delegation led by Ilyas Moussa Dewale, Minister of Economic and Finance. This meeting provided an opportunity to discuss the critical issues related to Djibouti's economic development. During the discussion, the Minister of Finance, Ilyas Moussa Dewale, expressed his deep gratitude to the World Bank, for its continued support to Djibouti. The discussion highlighted the challenges and opportunities that the country facing, including the need to diversify the economy to reduce the dependence on traditional sector, as well as to address youth unemployment, a persistent problem that require urgent attention. The World Bank representation acknowledged the progress made by Djibouti in its reform and emphasized the importance of maintaining this initiative. And now, a meeting between the Minister of Economic and Finance in charge of Industry, Ilyas Moussa Dewale, and the Vice President of the International Development Association was recently held to discuss the development challenges and opportunities facing Djibouti within the framework of the institution. Discussions were focused on crucial topics such as Djibouti's regional strategic position, migration issues, and country's debt sustainability. The impact of migration, whether illegal or the climate change issues, were also a focal point of the discussion. Participants agreed that this situation is significantly impacting Djibouti's resources and infrastructure, requiring coordinated intervention. As part of the Djibouti Fur Book Day, the National Library and Archive of Djibouti band hosted on a special day this morning dedicated to Palestine and its resistance through culture and art, and were organized by the National Agency for the Promotion of Culture. This day is not only a tribute but also a concrete act of solidarity in which culture becomes the universal language of justice and peace. The program for this day include book exhibition, Palestinian poetry reading, and also politically engaged theater performance in a panel discussion, but also documentary, bringing together intellectual writers and representatives of the civil society. The National Library and Archive thus reaffirm its commitment to the cultural diversity and dialogue between people values at the heart of Djibouti Book Fair. In his remarks, the Director General of the ANPC explained that this initiative is part of a shared desire to promote Palestinian culture and is strengthening bonds of solidarity and raise awareness among the Djiboutian public about the history, tradition, and resilience of the Palestinian people through literature, art, and dialogue. As part of its commitment to strengthen civilian capacity in regional peace and security mission, the East African Standby Forces held a recruitment and information session this Tuesday morning for civilian from the Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Djibouti. The meeting held at the Best Western Hotel was attended by senior government officials including Ambassador Ghili Diris Omar, Director of Multilateral Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but also the senior advisor of the Minister of Defense. The main objective of this meeting was to present opportunity for integrating civilians into the operation in non-military roles related to the administration, logistic, mediation, human rights, but also medical support. The session also provide an opportunity to raise awareness and participant awareness of the selection criteria available, training, and the strategy rules of civilian participation in play rules, but also the peace operation. It is essential that civilians be fully integrated into crisis management and a peacekeeping mechanism. For his part, the Brigadier General John speech emphasized the importance of the civilian personnel contributing the preventive diplomacy.
Express my sincere gratitude to you for finding time out of your busy schedules to grace this inaugural ceremony of the recruitment and rostering verification exercise to the Republic of Djibouti. Ambassador, sir, the Eastern African region chats in the complex conflicts, economic challenges, and significant external influences from global superpowers. I don't know who called them that, but when we come to the resource envelope, Africa is the biggest superpower. But unfortunately, the power goes somewhere else because of our own internal challenges. The founders of the organization of the African Union had a vision, and this vision was to be a brigade. Later, it metamorphosed into a force. Why? Because it's not just the military. If you must have a solution, all other components must come on board. Police for law and order, and of course the civilians who cause the conflicts, by the way. Conflicts are not caused by the military or the police. They are caused by civilians.
And now the speech delivered by Ghili Diris Omar, Director of Multilateral Relations in Djibouti during the training, indicate in his speech that notably through its participant in the East African Rapid Reaction.
It is both a privilege and a pleasure to welcome you today at the opening ceremony of the East African Standby Force Civilian Recruitment and Verification Exercise. On behalf of the Minister of Defense and Parliamentary Relations of the Republic of Djibouti, and on behalf of my ministry, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, and on my own behalf, please let me extend my warmest greetings to all participants. Your attendance here highlights our mutual commitment to promoting peace, security, and cooperation in our region. The East African Standby Force is a multidimensional, multidisciplinary, and integrated force composed of military, police, and civilian components as part of the African Standby Force framework established by the African Union. ESF focuses on preparedness to respond to various challenges, including conflicts, humanitarian crises, and natural disasters. By promoting collaboration and coordination among member states, the ESF seeks to foster stability and support operation missions within East Africa. As we confront the complexities of contemporary conflicts and the diverse challenges they pose in our region and beyond, our readiness and capability to respond effectively are paramount.
And now to finish this edition with international news, Israeli has blocked all humanitarian aid in Gaza Strip for 50 days. This is the 50 days that no humanitarian aid of any kind has been able to enter Gaza due to the restriction imposed by Israel, said UN spokesman Stephanie. The United Nations has warned of a catastrophic humanitarian situation in Gaza, stating that Israel has blocked access to all aid for 50 days. The organization warned of a horrific consequence for the civilian population. At a daily press briefing, UN spokesperson said that UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs has been able to deliver food, fuel, medicines, or any other essential supplies to Gaza Strip. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.